If you're interested in trying something like a Madeleine, which seems really advanced, this might be the recipe for you. Tartine All Day makes a chocolate buckwheat Madeleine that not only tastes great on day one, which is how traditionally Madeleines are meant to be enjoyed, but the ingredients give it keeping power and it stays moist for days. I like to prep a pastry bag with a number 13 or 1A tip in a deli cup so that I can cool the batter overnight, as is recommended for any kind of Madeleine recipe, gluten-free or not, and this one happens to be gluten-free. Before I begin any recipe, I always map out the instructions, make the labels, scale the ingredients, and then I compare them for accuracy to my recipe. The chocolate and butter, which are acting as fats, get melted in the microwave in a 45-second blast to start, followed by 10-second blast, not over melting. If you have pieces of chocolate left that are solid, let them sit. They will soften up and you can stir them in. Sifting the dries with a homemade nut powder can tend to lead to particles of nut being left behind. But that's okay because I am beginning the process of incorporating the ingredients and I'm looking at what I'm doing. And it actually takes longer than I normally show. I never touch the food product. There are a lot of very nice restaurants that go through the recipe testing process, count the number of hand touches, and then try to remove as many as can be removed to improve the quality of the final product. And this is what I recommend you do. So as I'm sifting, I do know that what I'm adding back to the dries is okay. I've made sure there's no debris and only the larger nut particles are going back into the powdered mix. In this recipe, the egg whites have no extra coagulants, no salt or acid. And when I whip them with a whisk, I'm really just going back and forth and adding air. I'm not lifting the whisk. I don't want to form even a soft peak because the chocolate in this recipe is a very strong stabilizer. With recipes like this, you can start folding in other ingredients using a whisk and then transfer to a rubber or silicone spatula. The first 2 times you add a new ingredient, you are not incorporating all the way. You're stopping short where there are still streaks, and you'll only incorporate completely with the final addition of flour or whatever the ingredient is that you're folding into your other main ingredient. Adding ingredients in thirds allows the disparate ingredients to begin to coalesce. This is going to go straight into my deli cup with the prepared tip and pastry bag so that it can mature overnight. If a recipe tells you that you can skip this step, I do not recommend it. It's required that the batter is cold when it goes into the oven so that you get the baking powder and the reaction to create a bump. Your ultimate goal is a light, spongy texture, but if possible, getting the signature bump is a sign that the oven's the right temp, you've matured the batter, and you've done a lot of things right. So this book I can highly recommend, and in the next video, you'll see how I prep the pans and bake the batter.